Connective tissue holds your body together, and it's really important, but it's also really easy to damage and hard to fix. So I'm here at Worcester Polytechnic Institute to talk to George Pins in the Bioengineering Department about an engineering approach to that problem. When I think of what holds a human together, first thing that comes to mind is bone and muscle, but you actually look at the parts that hold the bone and muscle together. That's even more important, these fibers that are part of the body, right?
Right. So to me, what in addition to bone and muscle, what holds the body together are tendons and ligaments, which hold the bones to the bones, and the muscle to the bones, as well as things like skin, which basically hold everything together, and membranes, which hold our organs in place. And all of these things, if you started looking at these things from the cellular and molecular level, obviously they're made out of cells, but what the cells make are these connective tissue proteins called collagen, and these cells make these, produce these collagen molecules as small nano and microfibrils, which they get built up into larger structures like tendons and ligaments. And what's really cool about all of these structures, if you sort of looked at them under a microscope or biochemically, is that the principal element for all of these connective tissues are these type 1 collagen fibrils or fibers, which, depending on the tissue or organ, say your tendons or ligaments, they get made, like in the back of your hand, these get made into these cable-like structures, not unlike a bridge cable that hold supports together, or if they need to be more membrane or fan-shaped, these fibers in your skin that hold your dermis together, they're the very same collagen fibrils or fibers, are woven together like a basket structure to provide different sorts of mechanical properties. And these connective, these collagen fibers become all of the connective tissues that hold your body together, absolutely.
So, when I think about being worried about injuring myself, I think I don't want to break a bone, and I don't want to throw my back out, pull a muscle, something like that. But these connective tissues, when they get injured, it's even harder for them to heal. When people have a torn ligament in their knee, that needs surgery, or not really going to walk well again. What you're looking at is how to make, I don't know whether I should call them artificial versions because they're made of the natural stuff, but make replacements for some of those things to help the healing process go right in surgery or after an injury, right?
You're absolutely right. So, if you think about your ligaments or you think about your skin, your body has some very sophisticated, during embryogenesis, organogenesis, and in utero development, your body has some very sophisticated cues that tell the cells, make these structures, make a cable-like ligament or a tendon, make a basket-woven dermis for the skin. But as an adult, when you injure your skin, when you have a big cut or a burn or something like that, or you blow out a ligament, those cues that you had during development aren't conserved as an adult. So what your body does is the best it can do, which is to try and make some sort of analog or replacement to go in its place. And oftentimes, that looks more like what you and I recognize as a scar than that native dermal tissue. And so skin is a great example of a place where you have this beautiful dermal structure that you're born with, but if you destroy a large piece of that dermis, your body's survival mechanism, that evolutionary survival mechanism, has put something in there that is as close to dermis as we can, and that looks more like a scar, which is good, but mechanically, structurally, cosmetically, really not the same. So for the last 20-odd years, myself and my lab have been interested in figuring out how we can mimic these principal structural elements in the body to make a manufacturable, off-the-shelf material to deliver to the body as a scaffold for tissue regeneration.
And the other thing that you've said that you do is you actually take some of these fibers, or hope to be able to take some of these fibers and embed something like a stem cell or something else that can promote healing in, and then use the fiber as a way to deliver that to just the right spot.
It's kind of neat. My initial, the initial goals of the lab were, again, to make scaffolds, cable-like structures for ligament regeneration, or basket-woven structures for dermal regeneration. But I talked about this research with a number of people who had different applications and interest in delivering stem cells, adult stem cells. They deliver these stem cells, adult stem cells, to different locations in the body to regenerate tissue. And when they saw the threads, they thought about the threads more like a suture material that a surgeon might use. And they thought it would be really cool if we could marry their stem cell technologies with our threads to actually make a technology where you could strategically target the delivery of these threads to concise locations in the body.
And you actually have one, don't you?
I do. We have some threads over here. We make these. This device actually has a suture needle on the end of it, and you can see here that there's a tube here where my colleagues would, sort of a mini bioreactor, inject the stem cells in the cell culture media. They grow inside that tube. Over a short period of time, these cells will attach to these threads and begin to attach and grow on the threads that we've been talking about, and then the needle and the threads are removed from this little mini bioreactor and can be delivered to a tissue.
So even if they weren't used as the thread to close a wound, you could add a few extra sutures of this that were just there to promote healing?
Absolutely. So if we use the threads made of fibrin or collagen, which have the same signaling, biochemical signaling properties that you might see during wound healing, and combine them with these stem cells, which can either somehow enhance wound healing, we can sort of take that to the next level.
Well, it sounds great. Thank you very much for telling me
My
about it.
pleasure.